Quick test to see if my mic is working. Alright, sounds good. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Tahmid and I am a technical volunteer for IEEE. Today I will be showing you how to use AWS to build and deploy a chatbot. We will briefly go over how to deploy it in Facebook, but it's pretty standard for most general platforms, so that wouldn't be too much of a hassle. So to do this, we are going to be using a service called Amazon Lex. Now, so what should you expect from this session? You should, by the end of the session, you should know how to build a chatbot through AWS, and yeah, you should be able to deploy it. Now, a little information about Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is a service for building conversational interfaces into any application using voice and text. Amazon Lex provides the advanced deep learning functionalities of automatic speech recognition, which is used for converting speech to text. It also provides natural language understanding to recognize the intent of the text, and this enables you to build applications with highly engaging user experiences and almost lifelike conversational interactions. So let's go into our AWS management console. Now, once you log into AWS and select any of the tiers, this is what you're going to see in your dashboard. Now, here you can see all of the AWS services, but we can just search for the one we're looking for, which is Lex. And here it is. So over here, we are going to start by creating a new custom bot. So you can see that there are options of creating different types of samples where you can do book trip, order flowers, schedule appointments, a bunch of different stuff, which are all pretty interesting. We're going to go with a custom bot. For this demonstration, let's make a bot that orders coffee for us. So let's call it Get Coffee. We're gonna set the language of the bot to English, so US. Now this is something pretty cool. Output voice. If your bot had a voice system, which let me just enable this real quick. So if your bot had if you wanted to make it so that it talks back to you or the user, you would use one of these. So they have different samples, and if you click on them, you can pretty much hear them.
Hello, my name is Sally.
Hello, my name is Justin.
Hello, my name is Kimberly.
Which is all pretty cool. Unfortunately for this demonstration, we aren't going to have any voice, so we're going to select none. And then we have to set session timeout. So this basically tells the bot how long it should focus on the user until it decides, okay, it's time to stop listening to you. And let's set it to 5 minutes, which should be more than enough for replies when you're ordering coffee. Sentiment analysis, we don't really need that right now. And then we have IAM role. So IAM is another AWS feature which we should go over briefly. Now, IAM. Alright, so IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Let's say you own a company and you have an AWS account for that company. You'll probably have a bunch of people working with different AWS services to keep things running. So the purpose of IAM is to make sure nobody has too much access. You don't want everyone in your company to be able to see every single piece of information the company has, because that can be a potential security hazard. So IAM makes this assignment pretty easy. You can select different users, you can make different roles, and you can even have groups. So in roles, you can establish different kinds of roles and give specific permissions, and then when you have someone join the team or leave a team, which are like the teams which are working on AWS, you can just assign roles to them. Now, assigning roles is a lot easier than creating a new user every time someone joins. So, like people usually tend to make a lot of roles, and then groups are like super easy to manage. So you have a bunch of people, you assign them roles according to their necessity, and then you put them into groups. Fairly simple. So for our bot, AWS has a default IAM role, which is AWS service role for Lex bots, which is like pretty much more than enough. Now Kappa, we don't need to worry about Kappa here. Now the confidence score threshold. This pretty much tells the bot to be, well, when the bot listens to what the person says, this pretty much decides, okay, how sure is the bot. And 0.4 is the default, which is more than sufficient for us. We don't really need to worry too much about that. And tags are also not significant here. So we are good. We got our initial stuff ready, and then we're going to create our bot. Alright, so now we need to look at intents. So our bot hasn't been built yet, let alone be published. First, we need to kind of set up the functionality and the logic of the bot. And we start with intents. Now, intents represent an action that the user wants to perform. So here, initially, let's create a new intent. Let's say you want introduction. That's pretty cool. So, how do I explain this? Let's say you said the bot hello, and then you want the bot to reply in some sort. This is what this is going to be, and let's give it a different name. Introduce. Alright. So over here, let's set up a few more intents that we might need. So since we're building a bot that helps your company or page order coffee, or like for a user to order coffee, let's create a get coffee intent. Add that. Alright, and after you know what intents you want your bot to have, you need to start creating slots. So what are slots? Slots are basically parameters of data that the intent is going to receive. So at runtime, Amazon Lex prompts the user for specific slot values. The user then provides these values for all the required slots before Amazon Lex can fulfill the intent and perform a certain action. So for get coffee, let's create some slots. Let's start off with coffee size. Sounds about right. So our coffee can be small, medium, and large. And then you simply add slot to intent. Coffee size already exists, so I probably tried this before. Let's just call it size then. Okay. Let's finish up building all the slots, and then we can set up the parameters as we require. So next, let's build. We have size. Let's do temperature. So here we have hot and cold. Oops. And then we add slot to intent. There we go. And finally, let's have something called, let's see, coffee type. Let's say, what could we have? Let's just go with A, B, and C for now. Alright, perfect. So after you have your slot types decided, you need to configure this section over here. So, oops. So over here, we have the priority. According to the priority, the bot is going to prompt the user. So if we have slot in number one, if we have size in number one, the bot is initially going to ask the user, okay, what size of coffee do you want? And this is what the prompt is going to look like. So what size? And then in number two, we have the temperature. Would you cold? And finally, we have our coffee type. Now, if you wanted, you could mess around with this and decide, okay, I don't want the temperature to be the second one, I want it to be the first one. And you can just click on these arrows over here and figure that out. Pretty simple stuff. Now, finally, what type? Okay. So after you have your slot prompts ready, you can set up, okay, we want to work on sample utterances. Now, this is what the user is going to say to the bot to initiate this this intent. So, what could a user ask a bot for a cup of coffee, right? So, I would like a coffee. You can have pretty much as many sample utterances as you want. So, can I get a, and over here, I believe, let's name our slots for, so you can say, can I get a type like this? And yeah, we can pretty much get away with that. For introduce, let's just have some general stuff like hey, hi, hello. There we go. So we don't need to worry about Lambda initialization validation over here because we are not using AWS Lambda, which is another service Amazon offers. For content, nothing to worry about. Slots, we have it pretty much set up. We made sure all of these are required. And let's just look. Everything's set to latest, which is perfect. The prompts are ready, and we don't really have much else to worry about. All right. So confirmation prompt. If you have this ticked, the bot, after taking in all of these parameters and making sure they are the right, of the right options, the bot is going to ask you, okay, does this look right? Is this the drink that you're ordering? It's going to ask for confirmation. So, do you want to order, let's say I want a large cold, whatever the coffee is, a frappuccino, for example. And then, if the user says no, this is not what I was looking for, the bot will cancel the order. So, okay, your order has been cancelled. So after confirmation prompt, we have fulfillment. Now we don't need to worry about this because, like I said before, we're not using Amazon Lambda here. We'll just return parameters to client, which is fine for us. Now responses. So if the confirmation is given and the user received what he or she wanted, we can send a response like, okay, order confirmed. And it's as simple as that. So afterwards, we simply save intent. And yeah, everything looks pretty perfect. Let's see if I can, yeah. We're just gonna set up a response for our introduce intent. I am a bot. Alright, then afterwards we will move on to something pretty important, which is error handling. Now, let's say the bot, while taking in the parameters, did not receive what it was looking for. It didn't understand what type of coffee you wanted. It didn't understand what the temperature is going to be. It didn't understand what the size is going to be. You want the bot to, like, that's when the bot is going to throw an error, and you want it to be handled properly. So over here, this is something you'll see pretty often from voice assistants like Google or Siri. So you are going to ask for clarification. So sorry, could you repeat that? There we go. Or we can use the default as well, which is pretty much the same thing. Now, maximum number of retries. So after 5 of these tries, it's going to hang up, which is, sorry, I could not understand, goodbye. The default ones are pretty okay, and we can get away with that. Alright, so afterwards, you're pretty much set. You have your intents ready, your intents have the necessary slot types, and you're handling errors. So let's go to the top right, hit build, and see if we can build our bot. So this is something that is very common in AWS Lex. For some weird reason, it requires you to refresh it. And afterwards, you should make sure that your slot type versions are set to the latest. And then hit build. Oops, my bad. So we have this set to types, which means we need an S. Let's make sure everything else is okay. Let's just add some more. Let's add some more sample utterances, just because. A So we use the curly braces to say that, okay, this word here is a variable, and the options are from types, over here the temps, and over here size. Yeah, we should be good. Just hit build again, see what happens. So if your build is successful, you should be able to test your bot over here to the right. So it's ready for express testing. Now if you recall the introduce intent, the sampler utterance was hey, hi, and hello. So if we do any of those, hello, I'm a bot. That's the response that we set. Now, let's say I would like a coffee. So it's going to prompt you what size. Let's say large. And it's going to ask the temperature. And finally the type. And then this is the confirmation prompt that we set up. So anything other than a no should be considered a yes here. Okay, so your order is confirmed, and this is pretty much how your bot is going to summarize the order. And you're pretty much done. You can publish this bot to your website or a Facebook or Twitter page or pretty much anything. And the way you publish it, you just need to hit publish. Wait, give me a second. Alright, so in order to publish your bot to, let's say, they have Facebook already here. So if you want to publish it as a Facebook Messenger bot, it's fairly straightforward. You just go to channels. Now, you need to have a Facebook developer profile, and it's a little difficult to showcase because Facebook developer profiles keep prompting you with very sensitive data and stuff that I wouldn't be comfortable having on the stream. It keeps prompting phone numbers and API keys, etc. But it's pretty straightforward. You just go to your Facebook developer dashboard. You say, okay, I want to make a new application, and it throws some details at you, and you just fill this up, and you get a secret key, and you put that in, and you're done. All you do is hit publish. Oh, I'm sorry. Is the echo still there? Alright, so yeah, and that's pretty much it. You have our running bot that's ready to be published, and it can take in orders. And that is how you use Amazon Lambda. So, any questions? Sorry, I just realized I said Amazon Lambda, Amazon Lex. Alright, cool. If we don't have any questions, I will stop streaming. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good day.